Good morning, family. Happy Friday. I want to take today's reflection a little deeper. Earlier this week, we talked about how Black women are often made the face of issues that were never uniquely ours to begin with. One of the most damaging examples of that is how Black women are constantly portrayed as the queens and the stereotype of welfare and food stamps.
People will search the deepest corners of the internet for videos of Black women expressing frustration
or hardship, usually based on very specific circumstances, and then build a narrative that says, this is all Black women. This is most Black women. And that is offensive. It's inaccurate, and it's deeply problematic. Because here's what they don't tell you when it comes to SNAP and food stamps. White households actually make up the largest number of recipients in the United States.
Black households make up about a quarter of recipients, even though we are only about 13-14% of the population.
That disparity is rooted in systemic inequality, not personal failure. But instead of explaining systems, they put a face on it. And that face is almost always a Black woman. And here's what they never amplify. There are countless Black American women who used government assistance properly as a tool, not a destination. I know many of these remarkable Black American women, and I am one of them. I didn't get on assistance and die there. I could not afford to. Back then, with one child, I was getting $196 every 2 weeks and $248 in food stamps per month. That was not sustainable, and I can never move on my own. My personal experience really changed my perspective on how systems work and how access to information can determine outcomes.
I had a caseworker who consistently treated me with an attitude, as if the assistance I was receiving was coming out of her own pocket.
During my second recertification, I finally asked her about it. I wanted to understand where the tension was coming from. She was very direct. She told me she was tired of seeing young Black women on assistance.
Women with babies, no fathers involved, no future plans, who, in her words,
were comfortable living on government support and refused
to take advantage of programs meant to help them move forward.
I listened, and then I asked her a simple but important question. I asked her what programs she was referring to, because everything available in the lobby pointed to more assistance. Help with utilities, home repairs, basic needs, but nothing about progression, nothing about education, nothing about building a future beyond the system. She paused, smiled, and asked me if I was genuinely interested. I told her yes. That's when she showed me information that wasn't displayed publicly, that wasn't in the lobby with the rest of the materials. Programs that allowed me to go to school, with transportation covered, school supplies paid for, and childcare provided. That information changed my life. I took full advantage of those opportunities. And while I was receiving benefits, I was also using them strategically as a bridge for transportation, childcare, higher education, 4 years and done. I worked for the United States government, eventually stepped away from corporate America, and today I'm my own boss along with my family.
Building multiple businesses, slowly and intentionally creating something tangible for my family.
And generations to come. And I am not the exception.
Those stories aren't told, they aren't highlighted, they aren't monetized.
Instead, what gets capitalized on are the most unfortunate moments of sisters who don't need ridicule. They need direction, support, and a break from whatever hell they're walking through. No one asks why. No one asks what happened. No one asks, how can we help? As long as the narrative can be twisted, as long as the image tears Black women down,
It's the story they choose. And this is exactly why I wrote Not Your Lesson. Because we speak from scars, not attitude. This truth was earned, not discussed.
we are not your lesson plan, not your headline or debate. Black American women are not your content. We are not cautionary tales. And we are not here to be the example for everyone else's morality or politics. These conversations matter because there are younger sisters watching, trying to find their way, trying to survive, trying to believe there's something more for them.
And what they need is truth and hope, not degradation disguised as commentary.
If we don't tell our stories from our own perspective, others will keep telling them for us.
If this conversation resonates with you,
Subscribe, follow, comment, like, share. Let's continue to tell who we are in our own voice, from our own perspective, with dignity and truth. If Not Your Lesson resonated with you and you'd like to support the work, you can visit my website to listen and purchase the song directly. That support helps me continue telling these stories with integrity and truth. Link in the description. Thank you for listening. This is Journey. Have a safe and blessed weekend. See you next time.
They keep telling our story without ever living in our skin.